And now, a special presentation of KTSM 9 News.
Thank you for joining us tonight for this special edition of KTSM 9 News, where we will discuss drug addiction, how it impacts our community, and where you can go to get help. I'm Natasha Paloma. During the next 60 minutes, we will explore the opioid epidemic in our community. We will also learn the depth of the problem, hear from our friends and neighbors directly impacted by it, and learn about local resources we can turn to for help. But first, we want to share some key facts about opioid addiction. According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, nearly 50,000 people in the U.S. died from an opioid overdose in 2019. Health experts also say that roughly 21 to 29% of patients who are prescribed for opioids for chronic pain misuse them. Additionally, an estimated 4 to 6% of misused prescription opioids transition to heroin. We do want to remind you that opioid pain relievers are mostly safe when taken for a short amount of time and when they are prescribed by a doctor. It's only when people misuse them that it can lead to addiction. And one person who has been very open and honest about his addiction comes from a very well-known family from Hollywood. We're talking about the Wahlbergs. I spoke to Jim Wahlberg about why he felt the pull to drugs at just the age of 12. Take a listen. Jim Wahlberg is a filmmaker, an author, and executive director of the Mark Wahlberg Youth Foundation. He joins us now to share his journey from addiction to recovery. Jim, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You have been incredibly candid and honest about your addiction that started at a very young age. So take us back to tell us how it all began. I know you were one of 9 children growing up in Massachusetts.
Yeah, I mean, I was the middle child of 9, so I think there's some significance there. Yeah, I mean, I think it all started for me sort of just looking for attention. You know, I was in a house full of kids, but my parents worked all the time. And, you know, I think we were all kind of starved for attention. And I was looking for that attention in all the wrong places. And so I found that attention in the way of some older kids in the neighborhood, and they were drinking, and I was very, very young, and you know, I drank with them, and I didn't become an alcoholic in that moment, or I didn't become addicted in that moment to the substance, but I think I did become addicted to the attention that I received.
And I've heard you say, you know, it all progressed very quickly, starting off with that alcohol and cigarettes and then progressing to harder drugs. And this was about 12 years old. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah. By the time I finished the 7th grade, I was a full-blown alcoholic and drug addict for sure.
Take us back to 12-year-old you. How did you feel inside? Why did you feel that pull to drugs? I know you said right now is attention.
You know, I honestly, I don't know if I was really aware of the fact that it was the drugs and alcohol that were causing me all these problems. I just felt like my life was chaos, you know, and I kind of felt like, I don't know, like there was something wrong with me, that I was somehow crazy for other people. And, you know, the only comfort I really found came when I used substances.
And I know you've said, Jim, you know, that this impacted you greatly. You became living this life where you became accustomed to, you know, sleeping on couches in other people's homes, and you were in and out of prison. Tell us about that experience.
So when I completed the 7th grade, now I think it's important to tell you that I went to 7 different schools. And so I was the new kid every year. So I had to reestablish myself every year. I remember it was the Friday night of that last day of school. I went home, and every night at 5 o'clock was dinner in my home. And I ate dinner, and I was heading out the door. And my dad said to me, "Now, don't forget, when those street lights come on, you better be home, or don't come home at all." And so I went out, and I remember I was drinking and I was using, and I remember it started to get a little dark, and I remember watching that street light flicker on and making the conscious decision that I was not ready to walk away from what I was doing and who I was with to go home, right? Even though I knew I was going to be in a lot of trouble. So instead, didn't go home. And I didn't go home until like 3 months later. And that summer, I got arrested a number of times. I got committed to the Department of Youth Services, which means they make decisions. And all this stuff's going on, and my life is completely out of control. And I still don't think it's because of the drugs and alcohol. I just think it's because of other circumstances. You know, I think, and this is an important thing for people to understand about addiction. The thing about addiction is the thing that everybody sees as the thing that's tearing you apart, the substance that you're using, you as the addict see it as the one thing holding you together. And that was my situation, was that those drugs and that alcohol that I was consuming at an alarming rate, obviously, was it was the glue holding my life together. But I wasn't aware of all the damage it was doing until it was undeniable.
Coming up in our next half hour, the rest of our interview with Jim, including how a chance meeting with Mother Teresa in prison helped begin to pave the way for his recovery. That's coming up at 6:30. And immediately after this 1-hour special, we are encouraging you to join us online for a live discussion at our KTSM 9 News Facebook page or drugfreeisuptome.org, where we will take your questions. Up next, we speak with medical professionals about what you need to look out for if you believe someone you know may be battling addiction. Also coming up, losing a loved one. We speak to a father who lost a son to drug addiction and share the message he has for parents. Welcome back to a
Kennedy Law Firm. Injured in an accident? Call 544-5200.
You could probably guess how this is gonna go. Uncomfortably close close-ups, ingredients defying gravity, melting this, splashing that. Wait! Is that much flavor even allowed? Charbroiled double deals from Carl's Jr. for $2.99 each.
Finish the year strong. During Shamali Ford's end-of-the-year closeout, we're bringing you thousands in end-of-the-year savings with pricing below MSRP. That's right, below MSRP pricing. Plus, get zero down, 0% APR, and no payments until the spring of 2022. Come get these red-hot deals while they last. I-10 and Lee Trevino. Shamali Ford, right on the corner, right on the price. ShamaliFord.com.
My name is Aaron. I've been with Facebook for 2 years now. I'm a product policy manager.
We have a lot of responsibility, especially on the content.
There's very little agreement whether we should be leaving more content up, taking more content down. With any particular rule or issue that we're looking at, we're not going to make everybody happy. Without regulation, we're really navigating that space as best we can. I think a standardized approach would help platforms all across the board define what the bounds of those rules should be.
Tis the season to break tradition in a Cadillac. Don't just put on a light show, be the light show. Make your nights anything but silent and ride in a sleigh that really slays. Visit a Cadillac showroom and start celebrating today.
Get 0% APR for 36 months plus $500 purchase allowance on most 2021 Cadillac models. Visit Bravo Cadillac in El Paso or Las Cruces today.
Time is running out to beat that January price increase and not pay double. Act now and get Yellowbird Solar AC and a furnace for just $75 a month. That's right, for $75 a month you get refrigerated air and solar that drops your electric bill to almost nothing. But you must act now to get this year's tax credits and beat that January price increase. Get solar and AC and drop your electric bill for just $75 a month. Call YellowbirdSolar.com. Tell them a little bird sent you.
I have something for you.
Hi. I have something for you, too.
Step up to GMC with 0% financing on these GMC models.
See your El Paso Las Cruces GMC dealers.
Double up your burger game at Carl's Jr. Savor the flavor of our California classic, our double cheeseburger, and jalapeno double cheeseburger. Double down on flavor when you experience the charbroiled double deals at Carl's Jr. Just $2.99 each.
Welcome back to a special presentation by KTSM 9 News, where we are discussing drug addiction, how it impacts our community, and where you can go to get help. Next, we are hearing from a doctor to really understand addiction and why some might be prone to it than others. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us today. So let's start with the very first thing. What exactly are opioids?
Opioids are a substance that you can find in plants, specifically the poppy plant, and once it's refined, you can have it in different ways or different forms, mainly morphine, fentanyl. You can also find it in heroin, and in many different drugs have opioids. So, and we've been using it for thousands of years. It's probably one of the oldest medications we've been using. So opioids are here to stay, so it's just a matter of how to work with them.
Right. And, you know, we hear the term opioid epidemic. We hear that, and El Paso is my hometown, so we think that we're immune from everything happening out in the other parts of the nation. But is opioids, do you see that as a problem here in El Paso?
You know, I came here to El Paso area 3 years ago, and when I came here, opioids were not really a thing. We had a big problem with alcohol. We have a big problem with methamphetamines. Nowadays, the numbers have risen like astonishingly. We have like numbers have more than tripled, I would say. And the problem is that we're seeing a lot of patients with heroin use disorder, and they're telling me that they can no longer find heroin. They only find fentanyl pills. And that is very scary because fentanyl is more lethal.
Tell us about how complex addiction is. I know it physically changes your brain. You know, we think, oh, why don't they just stop using, you know, those drugs? But it really is a physical change.
Oh, I wish it was so easy.
Yeah.
I wish it was so easy to say, stop using it, and okay, I stop. If it was that easy, I don't think anyone would lose their family. No one would become homeless because of an addiction. And it's a chronic illness. It's like, when you're talking about addiction, is a chronic illness just like hypertension or diabetes. It's very important to understand that addiction is not like an infection. You're not going to take medication for addictions for 7 days and it's gone, just like antibiotics for an infection. You take 7 days, infection is cured. That doesn't happen with addiction.
You know, Dr. Delgado, I interviewed a father who lost his son to opioids, and he said that his son, like about 19 years old, he took his first painkiller, and that the son said, I know I like this so much. I know I'm going to be addicted to this. So what makes a person prone to addiction to opioids rather than someone who might just take a painkiller and be able to be taken off of it?
You know, this is a tragedy that many families are experiencing. I'm really sorry for this father, and I hope his son would have gotten the treatment he needed. The thing is, addiction is very complex, and there's a lot of factors influencing someone who can get addicted or someone who is pretty much immune to the addiction. And what happens is that there's several risk factors. For example, genetic component. Like, even in my family, there was someone who had an alcohol problem or an addiction to morphine or an addiction to meth. So you have the genetic component and you're going to be at risk. Then if you add environmental factors and who has to deal with a lot of stress and maybe depression, something like that, you have the right combination there.
So let's talk about the treatment. Is it a long road to recovery, and can it be cured?
You know, do you cure diabetes?
No, you manage it.
You manage it.
Right.
Yes. Chronic illnesses are not really cured. We have to manage it in the long term.
Okay. Dr. Delgado, thank you so much for being here on this very important issue. We appreciate your time.
Of course. Thank you.
Well, we want to remind you that after this 1 hour special, we have a live discussion on our KTSM 9 News Facebook page. We hope you will join us. And we still have much more to share coming up. Criminal activity, the impact cartels across the border are having on the opioid epidemic here in the U.S. Stay with us.
suspect. Justice demanded. Wainwright Injury Lawyers.
Garlic or butter? You can only pick one for the rest of your life.
We can't like have alternate visitation weekends?
Just one.
I'm gonna go with garlic.
Really?
Well, wait, no.
Sonic Garlic Butter Bacon Burger. I might have to rethink it. I don't know.
I think we all need to rethink it.
The Acura Season of Performance. Track sold separately.
Visit Fox Acura of El Paso for attractive offers on the RDX.
Little one, you're gonna grow, and then you're gonna go. But I know, yes I know, you'll be okay. You'll be okay.
I have something for you.
I have something for you too.
Step up to GMC with 0% financing on these GMC models. We are professional grade. GMC.
To grow up healthy and happy, kids need fun experiences that stick with them forever. A group of friends that keeps them playful, and the freedom to just be a kid. The pandemic took so much of this away from them. But now, you can protect your kids the same way you've protected yourself. The vaccine is finally available for kids age 5 through 11. It's safe, effective, and doctor approved. Get your kids the protection they deserve and schedule a vaccine appointment today at vaccinenm.org/kids.
This might look like a cliffhanger.
But this is the Nissan sales event ad. There's something to hold on to.
This is the part where I rush to save the day.
Wow, what a ride.
Hurry in and save up to $42.62 on select models.
Better bring that home for the holidays.
I love a good deal. I love finding good deals like this because this Fritos Chili Cheese Junior Wrap is 99 cents.
I feel like they just marked it wrong, but I'm not telling.
Right.
Sonic Fritos Chili Cheese Junior Wrap.
Welcome back. Tonight we are focusing on opioid addiction and the impact it has on many of us here in our community. KTSM 9 News anchor Christina Aguayo spoke with the acting special agent in charge of the DEA El Paso division, who explained the criminal aspect of the opioid epidemic and how it's affecting youths here in El Paso.
Drug overdose deaths have hit an all-time high in the United States, with more than 100,000 people dead in 1 year's time. The DEA is pointing to fentanyl as a major factor in the spike in deaths, saying the drug is being made in Mexico, turned into fake prescription pills by the Mexican cartels, and then smuggled across the border.
These are the counterfeit fentanyl pills we were discussing. Probably about just over a kilogram, probably about 11,000 pills in that package right there. Street value, well over $100,000.
We are showing you actual fentanyl pills made to look like prescription pills. They are so potent, a special agent must be fully protected before handling them.
So the agent's getting ready to open the package. He's got 3 layers of gloves on. He's also wearing an air purifying respirator.
Greg Miller, the acting special agent in charge of the DEA El Paso division, told me that profit and greed are driving the cartels to push fake prescription pills laced with fentanyl.
It's easy to produce. It's easy to get the chemicals. You know, with the other drugs, you have to grow a plant. For heroin, you have to grow a plant. Marijuana, you have to grow a plant. Cocaine, you have to grow a plant. With fentanyl, it's produced in a laboratory. It's produced clandestinely. It's just chemicals mixed together.
Which makes it extremely dangerous. According to Special Agent Millard, the cartels are making fentanyl in powder and pill form.
And the pill form is very scary because they're made to look like legitimate pharmaceuticals.
And legitimate pharmaceuticals like Valium, Percocet?
Correct. Oxycontin, oxycodone, Valium, Xanax. So they're mimicking these. So when people buy the pill on the street, they think they're getting what maybe was a pill bought from a pharmacy, prescribed by a doctor, but sold on the black market. However, they're not. They're getting a pill made somewhere south of the border containing fentanyl.
A drug that is 50 times more powerful than heroin and 100 times more powerful than morphine. In fact, Miller told me a very small amount can be deadly.
Fentanyl is so powerful, it's only 2 milligrams could be a potentially lethal. 2 milligrams is just like a few grains of salt. Picture a few grains of salt on the tip of a pencil.
So if you get a bunch of high school kids that think they're taking Valium, they hand out 10 of them, you're going to get some certain deaths in that crowd?
You very well may. 40% of the pills have a potentially fatal dose.
In 2021, the DEA El Paso division seized nearly 300 kilos of fentanyl, marking a 600% increase from 2020, where they seized about 42 kilos.
Our biggest threats in our community are methamphetamine and fentanyl.
And a new method being used by the Mexican drug cartels, recruiting young adults to smuggle people across the border.
Are you seeing that method being used as well to traffic drugs into El Paso?
We are. Younger smugglers being recruited on social media platforms, being recruited by the drug cartels to bring the drugs across. Often they don't know what they're smuggling. They're just paid to bring something into the United States.
What would be your message to these young smugglers that are making some quick cash by helping out the cartels?
Yeah, I would tell them to be careful. If they're recruited on social media to be paid $50 or $100, $200 to bring something into the United States, stay away. It's not safe. It's probably narcotics, and you're risking your freedom. You will be arrested if you're caught with it.
Miller tells me the DEA is attacking the opioid crisis from every angle, including using a response vehicle to help bust drug labs.
This is our new clandestine laboratory response vehicle. Traditionally, these were used to respond to clan labs, where when methamphetamine was being produced here in Texas, we would bring a truck like this. More recently, these are used to respond to fentanyl.
Everything the agents need to process a fentanyl lab is inside the truck. It also contains sophisticated equipment to test for the deadly drug.
We have 3 mechanisms to test the pills to see what's in them.
In addition to taking down fentanyl drug labs, the DEA has launched Operation Engage, a program that takes a deeper dive into community outreach, engaging everyone from local law enforcement to schools, faith-based organizations, and even medical professionals. And they are encouraging parents to talk to their kids about the dangers of drugs.
We've destigmatized drug use. I've always said a young kid, an adult, that maybe they wouldn't inject themselves with heroin, they wouldn't do cocaine, but they'll take a pill, and it's really scary.
Special Agent Millard said that other drugs like marijuana, cocaine, and even meth are being laced with fentanyl, so the deadly drug is not just found in the fake pills being smuggled across the border. He also said that pills prescribed by your doctor are safe, but if it's not straight from the pharmacy, don't take it. One pill, he said, can kill. Reporting for KTSM 9 News, Christina Awayo.
At 7 p.m., we will have a live Facebook event to talk about drug addiction. We invite you to join us after this 1-hour-long special. We still have much more to cover on the opioid epidemic. Still ahead, recovering addict. We speak with a filmmaker who discusses his battle with addiction and how an encounter with Mother Teresa changed his life.
Segment sponsored by Oscar Leaser's Hyundai of El Paso.
You could probably guess how this is gonna go. Uncomfortably close close-ups, ingredients defying gravity, melting this, splashing that. Wait! Is that much flavor even allowed? Charbroiled double deals from Carl's Jr. for $2.99 each.
Chevy is taking people lots of places this holiday.
We're going sledding!
We're going to find the perfect tree.
We're going to Nana.
Let your Chevy dealer take you there with Chevy Red Tags, where the price you see is the price you pay.
Happy holidays from Chevy.
Find new places, find new roads. Very well-qualified buyers may also be eligible to get 0% financing for 72 months on select popular SUV models. And you may qualify for $500 bonus cash when you find your red tag.
The Acura Season of Performance. Track sold separately.
Visit Fox Acura of El Paso for attractive offers on the RDX.
The unknown is not empty. It's a storm that crashes and consumes, replacing thought with worry. But one thing can calm uncertainty: an answer, uncovered through exploration, teamwork, and innovation. An answer that leads to even more answers. Mayo Clinic. You know where to go.
This is my kind of holiday.
Happy Honda Days from all of us at Honda.
Visit your local Honda dealer today or shop online.
Anybody can hold the keys to mealtime happiness, but there can only be one master of the McDonald's bundle box. Hold the power to fulfill the cravings around the table. Give the nugget lovers their tender chicken McNuggets, the burger lovers their delicious cheeseburgers, and the fry lovers those world-famous fries. Be the chosen one with the 20-piece chicken McNuggets, 4 cheeseburgers, and a basket of fries for only $14.99. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Surprise!
It's a new Buick.
Got me a new Buick?
And there are more gifts inside. Is this a rear vision camera?
Yes, it is.
Look at the dog.
There's so many gifts in here, I don't even know where to start.
Watch this, Mom.
Alexa, turn on holiday lights.
This year, give the gift of technology in every Buick SUV. Get $3,750 purchase cash on this Enclave Essence. Plus, current eligible Buick owners get $500 additional allowance.
See your El Paso Las Cruces Buick dealers.
Double up your burger game at Carl's Jr. Savor the flavor of our California Classic, our double cheeseburger, and jalapeno double cheeseburger. Double down on flavor when you experience the charbroiled double deals at Carl's Jr. Just $2.99 each.
Welcome back to our 1-hour special where we are discussing the opioid epidemic and how it's affecting us right here in our community. We return to our interview with Jim Wahlberg. If his name sounds familiar, he is one of the older brothers of Mark and Donnie Wahlberg. In our first half hour, Jim talked about his battle with drug addiction, and now he shares more about his recovery. I've heard you also, you remember these vivid memories, and I heard you speak about meeting Mother Teresa in prison, and it's really such a beautiful story, the way you tell it, how you perceived her, you described what she was wearing, it was very humble, but it seems that really made an impact on you. Was that a turning point for you, for your life, for your road to recovery?
It was indeed. It was the absolute key moment in my life. You know, prior to that occasion, I had already started doing some things to at least create the illusion that I was trying to rehabilitate myself, trying to become a person in recovery. But I don't think I was very genuine about it. I just wanted to get out of prison. And, but somebody took notice of me. The priest at the prison I was in took notice of me and said, you know, here's a guy trying to get his life together. I want to help him if I can. And he gave me a job in the chapel. And then not long after I started working there, he told me that Mother Teresa would come to the prison I was in. And I said, Father, that's incredible. Who's Mother Teresa? Which is crazy, right? If you think about it, I grew up Catholic. I grew up, you know, I made my first Holy Communion. I did all those things, but I probably didn't know who the president was at that time either, to be quite honest. And I had a very sort of profound spiritual experience. But, you know, I walked away from that experience. A year later, when I got out of prison, I kind of walked away from the faith part of my life. I did stay clean and sober. I did not use drugs again. In fact, I haven't had a drink or a drug in 33 years. But for me, not using drugs and alcohol and being in recovery is more than just not using, right? It's changing, it's evolving, it's growing spiritually, becoming the person that I was intended to be before I got caught up in all that stuff.
Let's talk about now. You've been through it all, and I know you are the executive director of the Mark Wahlberg Youth Foundation. When you see these kids, you know, that might be struggling, how do you feel, and how does the foundation help?
I do these events with the DEA, and we go out and we meet kids, and you know, we do events, and there'll be 10,000 kids there. And I do a thing where I bring up the house lights, and I speak to them in a very real way. And I ask them, if you lost somebody you love or care about to an overdose, please stand up. 10,000 kids in the room. 8,500 of them are standing up. Wow. These kids are suffering from post-traumatic stress. They're suffering from depression. They're losing their family members, their parents, their loved ones, their classmates, their friends. It's unbelievable what has gone on. And so, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of healing that needs to happen. There's a lot of communication and to be quite honest with you. And I think there's also that element that's missing from a lot of young people, and that is the faith element. And it's very important to me, and I think it should be very important to more people.
Yeah. Last question, Jim. For anyone that is going through what you've gone through, watching this right now, someone who may think, you know what, there is no way out for me, I'm a lost cause, I can't get out of this world, what do you have to say to them?
So there's no such thing as a lost cause as far as I'm concerned, right? Because nobody was more of a lost cause than me, right? I did 10 years in state prison. I was homeless. Excuse me. I was lost. And so I know that if I can do it, then anybody can do it, right? But it takes work, and it has to be the most important thing. The most important thing has to be, I want to live a different kind of life, and I don't not use drugs and alcohol for my entire life. I don't use drugs and alcohol for a day, for one day. And then those days get strung together. But, we're only as lost and as sick as our secrets. We need to communicate with people. We need to let people know what's going on in our lives. Help is available.
All right, Jim Wahlberg, we so much appreciate you sharing your story with us, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you.
It's just so important that there is addiction in families and people out there in the community, that we do have money to be able to help out, not only through that, but the Emergency Health Network is also really involved in that.
Well, in October, the El Paso County received a settlement of more than $600,000 with pharmaceutical company Johnson & Johnson. This over claims it contributed to the opioid epidemic. According to El Paso County leaders, an additional $4 million has been made available to local programs and organizations that have felt the economic impact of this epidemic over the years. El Paso County leaders say the Texas Opioid Council is overseeing the funds and will ensure the money is spent fairly to remediate the opioid crisis. Well, one parent has a heartbreaking message for loved ones suffering from addiction. He shares the story of his son for who years struggled with drugs, and no matter what he did, he could not save his son's life. Watch this.
Oh, he was very sweet, loved animals, loved family.
Gary Longoria describes his son Andrew as a loving kid.
Always respectful. Thank you, please, and I was very proud of that.
Photos show Andrew enjoying what any child would: fishing, dressing up as Spider-Man, even visiting Italy. Were you all very close? Did you have a very close bond with him?
Yes.
Andrew's life tragically cut short after overdosing on opioids at 30 years old. His father still remembering the day he was born. Do you remember the moment that you first held Andrew in your arms when he was born?
Yes. Highland Hospital, Oakland, and it was just saw him and held him, and what came across my mind is that this is my baby.
Andrew eventually ended up joining the Marines. He grew up and went into the Marines. Was this a shock for you?
No, because he had talked about it since he was a little boy.
It was there. At 19 years old, he became addicted. The Marines, that's where he had his first exposure to painkillers.
Yes, he explained to me the first time when he realized that he had no shot, or he couldn't control this.
Andrew ended up on the streets of Oakland, California. His father, with a difficult balancing act, being there for his son.
I was letting him know that he couldn't bring that into our house, and he understood that.
But setting boundaries for what he calls the addict.
It's like two different people on two different and I had to learn to separate the two, because the addict would stomp me out and everybody else out.
Andrew ended up coming to El Paso to stay with his grandfather and made a sincere effort to stop the drugs, but the pull was just too strong. Longoria remembers the moment he found out his son was gone.
One fear had gone and another sadness took over, and it was difficult.
Longoria wants parents to know never give up on your kids, but make sure to give the addict tough love.
And so when I at home, when I see that person on the street now, I think that's somebody back in their lifetime love them like I love my son.
Our thanks to Mr. Longoria for speaking with us. It was very difficult for him to do that interview with us, but he said he just wanted to share his story so he could change at least one family's life and, you know, just stop this from happening to another person. Well, stay tuned. We speak with a psychologist who shares tips on how to talk to your child about drug addiction. Stay with us.
Segment sponsored by El Paso Honda.
The holiday season is in full gear, and so is Happy Honda Days at El Paso Honda. Enjoy the holidays in a new 2022 Civic Sport sedan for $209 a month. Unwrap these holiday deals now. It's the Happy Honda Days sales event at El Paso Honda.
We know these roads and drive them too. From the big trucks passing through on the interstates to the oilfield traffic in the Permian Basin. At Glasheen, Valles, and Inderman Injury Lawyers, we handle big crashes, especially those involving big trucks. We know that it's important to investigate immediately before critical evidence disappears or witnesses' memories fade. For catastrophic injury or wrongful death, call the people you know. Glasheen, Valles, and Inderman Injury Lawyers.
Finish the year strong. During Shamali Ford's End of the Year Closeout, we're bringing you thousands in end-of-the-year savings with pricing below MSRP. That's right, below MSRP pricing. Plus, get zero down, 0% APR, and no payments until the spring of 2022. Come get these red-hot deals while they last. I-10 and Lee Trevino. Shamali Ford, right on the corner, right on the price.
ShamaliFord.com. Time is running out to beat that January price increase and not pay double. Act now and get Yellowbird Solar, AC, and a furnace for just $75 a month. That's right, for $75 a month, you get refrigerated air and solar that drops your electric bill to almost nothing. But you must act now to get this year's tax credits and beat that January price increase. Get solar and AC and drop your electric bill for just $75 a month. Call YellowbirdSolar.com. Tell them a little bird sent you.
Little one, you're gonna grow, and then you're gonna go. Now I'll be waiting, waiting for you back home. So many little things I wanna say, but I know, yes I know you'll be okay. I know, yes I know you'll be okay. Yes I know you'll be okay.
The holiday season is in full gear, and so is Happy Honda Days at El Paso Honda. Enjoy the holidays on a new 2022 CR-V EX for $289 a month. Unwrap these holiday deals now. It's the Happy Honda Days sales event at El Paso Honda.
Welcome back. One of the many challenging aspects of fighting drug addiction in teens and young adults is knowing how to approach them and how to begin a conversation. KTSM 9 News anchor Trevor Thompson talked with a child psychiatrist on the do's and don'ts when speaking to your loved one about addiction.
In the fight against drug addiction, a local psychiatrist told me there's plenty of misinformation out there, and a lot of advice you might receive is simply backwards. Many of the things you think you should do might end up doing more harm than good in the end.
It's one of the only things that can come out of the blue and ruin your life.
Psychiatrist Sarah Martin of Texas Tech El Paso understands the dangers of drugs, especially opioids or opiates in the young, but she also understands the dangers of approaching the topic the wrong way. Issue number one, a stern talk with your children is not always the best option.
First of all, you always want to make sure that they know that no matter what they have done, that you still love them. Because once you make it seem that you're so upset with your child that they're not worthy of your love, then you've lost a huge connection with them. Children will, and adults, teenagers especially, will reject a lot of the things that their parents want to do on the surface. But remember that not everything they say do they really mean. They're showing their independence.
Sometimes, she says, your child might end up flat out lying to you about drug use. And while many parents might get concerned about the lying about drug use is not actually as big a deal as you might think.
Kids lie to get themselves out of trouble. We as mental health professionals do not consider lying to get yourself out of trouble as to be a super worrying circumstance or behavior. We worry a little bit more if they're lying to get other people in trouble or to cause some kind of chaos, or their behavior is getting worse and worse and worse. But a lot of kids will try drugs. It's always way better if they don't try drugs, because even the first time can have a very detrimental effect on kids.
Those detrimental effects of drugs, from opiates to marijuana, can perhaps best be seen, at least early on, in a student's grades, meaning slipping grades are one of the major signs you should be concerned about.
First of all, you want to compare the pre-drug kid to the post-drug kid. If you find that joint but you really haven't seen any other changes, like they still have their friends, they have functioning relationships at school with their teachers, their grades are still the same as they were before, like, you know, don't worry if your B student still a B student. If you have an A student that starts failing classes, that's a huge red flag. And it's a really good thing to follow, because it's such a sensitive measure of how well a kid is doing.
Another major misconception involves your child getting into legal trouble as a result of drug use, when in fact, Dr. Martin says getting caught could actually be a blessing in disguise.
It's not the end of the world if your kid gets arrested for having drug possession or selling drugs or whatever, because at that point they're going to be moved into a system that will really be able to have a much higher level of authority over them. They'll be drug testing them all the time, and the main goal of all of these programs is to get the kid on the straight and narrow, get the kid not using drugs, sober, all of those good things. And they do it in a very therapeutic way.
And while any drug use could be cause for concern, not all drugs are created equal, meaning opioid use is in fact cause for alarm.
And then, of course, opiates, there's a huge focus on opiates, because the high that you get from opiates, it's never as good as the previous time. Your body gets used to it. Your brain gets used to the high part of it. But the part that suppresses your breathing, you do not get tolerance to that. So that's why you get so many overdose deaths with opiates. Like marijuana is, you know, I don't know that anyone dies directly of marijuana overdose. Alcohol, you can definitely die of alcohol intoxication.
And finally, the fight against addiction is not an easy one. It's a long road, she says, with many peaks and valleys, so it's important to realize a relapse is normal, even an expected part of the recovery process.
Part of recovery is relapse. I always say that. Recovery and relapse, they always go together. Relapse is, we just, as a medical community, we just accept it, and then we put the person in treatment again. Families, I think that's a much, much, much harder concept. They're so much more emotionally tied to the person, especially if it's a young person, that, you know, nobody wants anyone to relapse, but it's not the end of the world if they do. Most people relapse more than once. There's very, very, very few people that get sober completely for the rest of their life the very first time they try.
Now, one more thing to note, Dr. Martin tells me it's always a good idea to seek professional help early, even if it's just for one visit. Oftentimes, a child might be more willing to hear certain things from a neutral observer rather than from their parents. Back to you.
Our thanks to Trevor for that report. And we want to remind you that after this 1 hour special, we will have a live discussion on our KTSM 9 News Facebook page. We hope you will join us. Well, thanks for staying with us. Still ahead, Turning Point, meet the mother who battled addiction for years and who she says helped her recovery.
Shop Mission Chevrolet, where it's all about you.
At Johnson Jewelers, we are excited to bring you the most wonderful Christmas ever. Our winter wonderland is ready. We have the perfect gift and a great selection of everything handpicked just for you. Shop local, shop Johnson Jewelers. I'm Randy Johnson, and I want to be your jeweler.
Right Drive and One Source Federal Credit Union are bringing you our epic Red Tag sales event all month long. Every vehicle with a red tag has been discounted and is priced to sell. Easy approvals, low interest rates, and 90 days no payments is what you can expect during our event. Buy a car from Right Drive and you'll be automatically entered to win $2,000 in cold hard cash. Plus, One Source is offering 1% cash back for the amount financed through them. Visit us in person or online. Right Drive, the only way to drive.
I have something for you.
I have something for you, too.
Step up to GMC with 0% financing on these GMC models.
See your El Paso Las Cruces GMC dealers.
Oh, I think I left my card at the restaurant.
Should I turn around?
No. I'll just freeze my card with the Navy Federal Credit Union app. Can't imagine where I'd be without them.
Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
'Tis the season to save at Oscar Leaser's Hyundai of El Paso. Save with 0% financing up to 48 months, plus no payments for 90 days on all 2022 Hyundai models in stock. That's no interest and no payments for 90 days. Decorate your driveway with an Elantra, Sonata, Kona, Tucson, or Santa Fe. And sign and drive with zero due at signing, zero cash out of pocket. 'Tis the season to save at Oscar Leaser's Hyundai of El Paso.
'Tis the season to break tradition in a Cadillac. Don't just put on a light show, be the light show. Make your nights anything but silent and ride in a sleigh that really slays. Visit a Cadillac showroom and start celebrating today.
Get 0% APR for 36 months, plus $500 purchase allowance on most 2021 Cadillac models. Visit Bravo Cadillac in El Paso or Las Cruces today.
At Johnson Jewelers, we are excited to bring you the most wonderful Christmas ever. Our winter wonderland is ready. We have the perfect gift and a great selection of everything, handpicked just for you. Shop local, shop Johnson Jewelers. I'm Randy Johnson, and I want to be your jeweler.
Respect, justice, demand it. Wainwright Injury Lawyers.
Drug abuse and addiction cost the American society more than $740 billion annually in lost workplace production, healthcare expenses, and crime-related costs. That's according to the American Addiction Center. KTSM 9 News anchor Brenda Medina shares one person's story of success through help.
Right now, the number of people suffering from addiction across the nation is alarming. I had a chance to sit down and speak to a local mother who overcame the addiction and wants others to know they're not alone.
I just picked up the drug to sedate all of that trauma.
But battling that addiction is something a 37-year-old Michelle Francis tells me is not something that just happens overnight.
During my 6th grade year, I was actually molested by a relative, and that lasted until I was a freshman in high school. And because of that, I was just attracted to toxic relationships. So abusive relationship after abusive relationship. And by the time I was in my late 20s, because I had never received help for all the abuse, I ended up using drugs here in El Paso.
And that's when Michelle says her world came crashing down with yet another failed relationship.
I found out that the guy I was dating was into child pedophilia. So I left the relationship and just started using heroin. That's where it started. Methamphetamine, cocaine, crack cocaine, ecstasy, GHB, really just anything that I could get a hold of.
And was it easy to get a hold of those drugs?
It was absolutely easy to get a hold of.
Losing not only herself, but her most cherished treasures during these 2 years of addiction.
It was really hard. I still communicated with my children during that time. But that topic, I just felt so hopeless. I had obviously lost custody. It was awful. And that just gave me another reason to keep using, because here's more pain surmounted on all of the other pain.
The easy access to keep her addiction going, all circling back to the Northeast. The Devil's Triangle, to be exact. Doing anything she could to get her high and keep those feelings numb.
The most drastic thing that I did was probably the prostitution. I know stealing from stores to get money, I mean, that's pretty drastic in itself, but to me, for my moral compass to be so broken, and for me to be so broken as a person, to be willing to sell my body for it, was the most drastic for me personally.
How long would you say you did that for?
I was probably doing that for about 6 months.
Almost losing her life at one point.
I had an overdose and I stopped breathing, and I had done a shot and I overdosed, and I had to be brought back with CPR, chest palpitations.
Do you remember anything from that day?
I remember being in the car when it happened. I remember being brought back when I came out of the overdose. And I mean, obviously nothing triggered me to want to stop when I'm coming to from an overdose and asking for his shot. It's so devastating to think that that's how it went down when I came to. It's heartbreaking.
So you weren't rushed to the hospital when that happened?
No, I was not. I didn't want to go to, he had offered to take me to the hospital. I didn't want to go.
Her turning point coming shortly after that episode.
My family had, I guess you could say, an intervention. I wasn't ready. I was very aggressive towards my dad. And in a desperate attempt to save his daughter, he called the police on me, and that's where I got charged. And then I was so angry, but he saved my life. My dad saved my life. My family saved my life.
That came with 2 years of jail and court-mandated programs.
The total process for me was about 2 years. I would say the first year was a lot of cognitive, getting my mind right, recognizing that, you know, I need to take accountability because I'm an adult and I'm making these decisions. But also that was a lot of the physical healing. The second year was focusing on healing in the heart to keep me successful.
And now about 9 years later, Michelle tells me she's working. She and her now husband are doing great. They have one little boy together, and she was also able to get custody of her 4 other children. She adds that when you're in recovery, maintaining is very important, advising any individuals and families going through what she went through to seek help. Brenda Medina, KTSM 9 News.
Brenda, thank you for that incredible story. Up next, Finding Help, the local center that's helping El Pasoans who are battling addiction.
Doing great things in the community is what Subaru is all about.
We're dedicated to helping people and organizations around the world that are in need.
Meals on Wheels, Americans Red Cross, and the Boys and Girls Club, just to name a few.
What can we say? Subaru loves to help.
We're committed to spreading the love, making it less about us and more about you.
Our love promise to you is to never stop trying to make the world a better place.
At Subaru El Paso, we really do believe in making a difference in people's lives.
How can you describe Whataburger's honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich? The chicken just has a certain, you know, with the sauce. The sauce, it gives you a little bit of... And the cheese, it's the exact right amount of... Whew, it's almost too hard to put into words. Good thing there's... Yeah. Good thing there's the honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich at Whataburger.
The Acura Season of Performance.
Track sold separately.
Visit Fox Acura of El Paso for attractive offers on the RDX.
My name is Aaron. I've been with Facebook for 2 years now. I'm a product policy manager.
We have a lot of responsibility, especially on the content.
There's very little agreement whether we should be leaving more content up, taking more content down. With any particular rule or issue that we're looking at, we're not going to make everybody happy. Without regulation, we're really navigating that space as best we can. I think a standardized approach would help platforms all across the board define what the bounds of those rules should be.
Play Holiday Hoopla at Sunland Park to win your share of $500,000 in cash and gifts. 12 chances to win $5,000 every Saturday. The $500,000 Holiday Hoopla, now through December 25th at Sunland Park Racetrack and Casino.
Right Drive and One Source Federal Credit Union are bringing you our epic Red Tag sales event all month long. Every vehicle with a red tag has been discounted and is priced to sell. Easy approvals, low interest rates, and 90 days no payments is what you can expect during our event. Buy a car from Right Drive and you'll be automatically entered to win $2,000 in cold hard cash. Plus, One Source is offering 1% cash back for the amount financed through them. Visit us in person or online. Right Drive, the only way to drive.
Just give it a shot for you and me. It's so easy that the doctors give it for free. Just give it a shot. Take the COVID and flu vaccine.
Message provided by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the American Heart Association.
Welcome back. We've talked about the issues of opioid use in our community, but now we'll look at the resources that are available for those struggling. KTSM 9 News reporter Shelby Capp spoke to a local opioid treatment center that has been helping El Pasoans overcome addiction.
Before, it was almost 100% of the folks that were seeking help was as a result of heroin use. In the last 5 to 7 years, the use, the reported drug of choice was prescription drugs.
Guillermo Valenzuela, the Chief Corporate Officer for Aliviane Opioid Treatment Center, explaining the steps of an opioid addiction treatment plan, starting with individual counseling, group counseling, and medication-assisted treatment.
So that you detox in a more humane way. And once you're given a dose of medication that agrees with your body, and you have the ability or some clarity to talk to a counselor on one-on-one, and then in a group setting, you will start seeing some of those behaviors change. And that's the treatment that we offer in a nutshell.
According to Valenzuela, 70,000 people seek treatment at the clinic in just 1 year, and the number of people reporting fentanyl use at the clinic has skyrocketed. If
you can imagine, I'm sure you all have had family members who've been in the hospital, and for pain management, they've been placed on morphine. Fentanyl is 100 times stronger.
Saying people need to be extremely careful buying drugs off the street here in El Paso.
The reports that we get from people that are actively buying and using is that drug traffickers are using fentanyl to increase the potency of these drugs, or to fool their customers into thinking that they're buying cocaine when it may be just baby formula with fentanyl in it.
You can get help for you or someone you love by calling the number you see on your screen. Now, officials at the clinic also say you don't need to worry about anything you share being reported to the police.
The treatment is strictly confidential. They shouldn't be concerned with anyone knowing about their history, their treatment plan, anything involving what they're reporting to us. That we hold strictly confidential. So people shouldn't worry about anybody making reports to a police or people finding out what they're reporting to us. That doesn't happen.
KTSM asking Alivane how those who seek treatment will be able to pay for that treatment.
How that treatment is offered in the payment plans, they shouldn't worry about that. We work with everybody. We're a nonprofit organization, and we'll make sure that if the treatment is needed, that they receive it.
Shelby Capp, KTSM 9 News.
That's going to do it for us. You can find more information on opioid addiction on KTSM.com. And a reminder, we will have a live discussion on our KTSM 9 News Facebook page at 7 p.m. Thank you so much for joining us for this very important discussion on opioids. We will see you next time. Have a good night.
This has been a special KTSM 9 News presentation.